In the far reaches of the cold northern world, where mountains rise like sleeping giants and fjords carve deep veins into the earth, nightfall meant something far richer than the simple end of day. Step inside a Viking long-house as dusk thickens. The heavy scent of woodsome smoke lingers in the air, mingling with the tang of salted fish and the musty warmth of woolen cloaks. Shadows grow longer across carved wooden beams that have weathered countless winters. Each mark, a quiet testament to the lives lived beneath them. Here, surrounded by family, neighbors, and the crackling hearth, the Norse people prepared not just for sleep, but for a nightly ritual as old as the turning of the stars. Unlike our modern restless world, haunted by glowing screens, endless clocks, and an anxious race toward dawn, the Vikings moved with the deliberate, patient rhythm of nature itself. For them, sleep did not arrive all at once, like a heavy curtain falling. It unfolded gently in two acts, punctuated by a sacred, wakeful pause. After the evening meal, thick barley stew, warm bread from the coals, and perhaps a final sip of mead, they would gather closer to the fire. Stories of gods and monsters, sea voyages, and long-lost kin filled the smoky air as embers danced in the eyes of the young and old alike. Then slowly, one by one, they would drift into what historians now call the first sleep. This first descent into dreams often lasted 4 hours, deep and undisturbed, as the wind outside whispered through the thatch and frost gathered silently on the earth. But the true magic of Viking nights began in the quiet space that followed. Around midnight, eyes opened, not in panic, but in calm acceptance of the body's ancient rhythm. In that soft in-between hour, the hearth still glowed, a stubborn ember refusing to die, and the long house stirred gently. By this flickering light, families tended small chores, checked on livestock, or stirred embers to keep the cold at bay. Lovers might find each other in hushed corners, sharing warmth and whispered secrets. Elders spoke of wisdom earned at sea and battles fought beneath foreign suns. Children half awake listened with wide eyes, collecting legends to carry into dawn. Far from being a curse, this wakefulness was woven into life itself. A natural interlude, as familiar and comforting as the lullaby of wind against timber walls. After an hour or two, sleep returned like an old friend, leading them into the second sleep until first light painted the sky with promise. And so night passed not in a single heavy block, but as a living, breathing rhythm, rest, wakefulness, reflection, and rest again. The design of the long house made this ritual possible. Thick timber walls sheltered families from the worst of the winter winds. Sleeping platforms lined the hall, raised above the cold earth and covered in straw furs and woven blankets. The hearth, always at the center, was more than just a source of warmth. It was the beating heart of the home, its quiet light, anchoring dreams and conversations alike. In those midnight hours, the Vikings practiced a quiet kind of productivity. Women spun flax into thread by firelight, the soft scrape of spindle filling the silence. Men mended harnesses or carved small tools, their hands steady and unhurried. Others simply sat, breathing in the smoky air, letting thoughts drift like the sparks that floated upward into darkness. This was a time not ruled by obligation, but by presence, a chance to listen to the hush of night and the soft beat of one's own heart. Outside, the world lay wrapped in darkness, yet it was not feared. Without the glare of artificial lights, the Vikings' eyes adapted to the gentle glow of moon and stars. Their bodies kept a quieter, deeper time, aligned with the slow pulse of the earth itself. And so dawn, when it came, felt less like an alarm, and more like the natural unfolding of light, a gentle invitation to rise rather than a demand. In summer, when the midnight sun hovered at the horizon and darkness barely touched the land, the pattern shifted. Sleep became lighter, broken into shorter rests, while long evenings stretched into shared stories and laughter beneath a sky that refused to dim. In winter, when darkness held the land for 16 hours or more, sleep deepened and expanded, but the rhythm of waking and sleeping still remained, a familiar dance through even the longest nights. Modern science has only recently begun to rediscover what these northern people seem to know without study. That segmented sleep with its quiet midnight pores may bring deeper rest, calmer minds, and gentler mornings. In those hours between dreams, the body releases prolactin, encouraging relaxation and peaceful reflection. Far from the restless anxiety that grips modern insomniacs, the Vikings welcomed the hush of midnight as a gift. Perhaps what truly set Viking sleep apart was not merely the structure, but the spirit in which it was embraced. Rest was not stolen in exhaustion, but shared among family, neighbors, and even ancestors, whispered to in prayer. Sleep was not the interruption of life. It was part of life's great rhythm. As sacred as the hunter, the harvest, or the voyage across an unknown sea. The hearth flame that warmed them at midnight was the same flame that had burned for generations, a silent promise that even in the deepest dark, they were never truly alone. And so if you wake tonight, remember them, those who listened to the quiet breathing of the night and found peace there. Stretch your limbs. Let your thoughts wander not to tomorrow's burdens, but to the soft glow of the present moment. You are not broken. You are human, echoing an ancient pattern written into the very marrow of your bones. For in the frozen north, long before alarms and deadlines, people learned to sleep as nature meant them to, and in doing so, they awoke stronger, calmer, and ready to greet the dawn with quiet courage.